Welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Rantador. That's Rantador, and he's driving the Object 416 on an encounter battle, on Ruinberg. Object 416 being the other tier 8 medium tank for the Soviets. The one that is affectionately nicknamed the Frying Pan, and that's thanks to its turret and gun. This is the one that doesn't have a full 360 degrees freedom of motion for its turret. Judging by the little picture of a tank in the bottom left corner there, it looks like about 180 degrees. No, sorry, not 180 degrees, 170 degrees. More like about 85 on each side. So this thing can be a little bit difficult to use, just considering you can't traverse that turret all the way around. Got to be careful. So anyway, onto this replay. The majority of the Allied team for some reason has rushed all the way down the right hand flank, and the rest of them are just kind of sat there in and around the base. Only a Tiger 1 and himself have really come into town. You can see a Churchill 7 KV4 now making inroads down the main street there. That's a little bit of an unusual place to arrive at. Gets a good hit on that T-34-3 there, and he just gets obliterated in short order from the attacking tanks. Gets himself to the edge of this wall here, sets himself up in a side-scraping position. It looks like the enemy team is more concentrating on the other heavy tanks that are coming down the main road rather than himself, so he'll be able to pick up some nice free damage on this Kneven here. As you see, gets two good hits on him, gets himself back into cover, relies on that very nicely sloped turret armor to do the job of defending him. He did take out the Kneven's track, so there's nothing he could really do about that, and he was just able to pick up that kill nice and easy there, thanks to his excellent positioning. But as you can see, the sloping on this turret just makes it very, very difficult to penetrate. Lots of things will tend to bounce. We'll spot a Jagdpanther 2 over there. He has no problems penetrating though, as he puts one straight through the front. Pretty sure that'll have been, yep, straight through the hole there, which is only very slightly angled. Comes around the back of a 5100, takes him by surprise and manages to take him out no problem whatsoever and pick up kill number 2. So the Allies finally clicking onto the message that this is an encounter battle and starting to put more heavy tanks into the town area. Unfortunately, this KV4 and Churchill 7 took considerable amounts of damage getting to this position. Really should have just came through the town the normal way. Rantador not really wanting to duel with that IS-3 there, because that's not something he's going to be able to win. Tries to set himself up so he can just poke out the rear of the tank and keep his gun on target. Wasn't quite able to do any damage to the IS-3. A little bit unfortunate there, but that one is a damaging shot, and that is kill number 3. So now he's got a few heavy tanks at his back for support. Spots an IS in front of him. IS has poked himself out to take a shot. Managed to get a good bit of damage onto him, and that IS just falls back. Gonna sit here and wait just in case that IS decides to pop himself out again and have another go at this one. As you can see, he did start to move forward before his camo re-initiated. There we go, pokes himself out, but Rantador just about missing that one, so a little bit unfortunate there. If it could have hit him, that would have been another good chunk of damage and almost eliminated him. Let's see what this IS does this time. Although, to be honest with him, waiting for his camo to kick back in and then moving out is probably what he's going to do again. Indeed, he does. Takes another shot through the side of his armor and then just decides to slowly limp backwards. Although, no, he's poking himself out again. He wants some more of this. He wants to get a shot off. And there we go. The IS fires his shot and then just decides to back off and take some cover. Not sure if he's going to poke himself out again now with only having 86 hit points. Looks like he might. Even though it hasn't worked out that well from the last 2 times he's done it, he looks like he's going to want to poke himself out again. Bit of a glutton for punishment, as you can see there. A little bit unfortunate that Rantador just hit the ground in front of him. IS stays out because he wants to take his own shot, but Rantador is just behind the corpse of this enemy tank there. Didn't quite hit him that time either, so just decides that it's time to leave, and he's going to head to the middle of the map and try and make a difference there. He did see the enemy object 416 there. Oh wow, I was going to see, you did see the enemy 416 there, who was on full hit points, all 1200 of them. That would be a little bit of a difficult battle, except the Allied Su-14 took him out in a single shot there. So nice piece of work. Rantador going to come around and try and flank this KV-1S. Got to be careful. The KV-1S can't one-shot him, but he can do a considerable amount of damage, and he is waiting. KV-1S fluffs his shot, though, probably suffering from a little bit of lag, and I'm pretty sure Rantador is going to reload much faster than the KV-1S does, and indeed he does, and he's able to take him out and pick up kill number 4. The enemy still does still have an S-51 around here somewhere, another piece of artillery, so Rantador is just going to go off and have a look for him. More than likely, he's just going to be in and around the spawn area here somewhere. Allied team dropping like flies at the moment. That Jagdpanther 2 still in the city there, and actually takes out that KV-4. So that just leaves himself and these 2 artillery pieces. And there we go. Finally spots out the S-51. Hidden right in the very corner of K0 there. And Rantador just going to try and get a little bit better gun depression by angling his tank. And there we go. He's able to get 1 good hit on the S-51. Shame about the low roll there. But it probably would have taken 2 hits anyway. And the artillery comes in for support and is able to take him out. It already looks like that Jagdpanther 2 is doing more work. Already taken out the other artillery piece that made a move for the base. Actually, yes, he did. It looks like he's actually made a move towards the artillery, and he's able to take out that M12 as well. So that is the Jagdpanther moving on after taking out both of the artillery pieces. Not really sure if he's going to be dropping back to assist in the base capture, or whether he's going to try and hunt down Rantador here. The Jagdpanther is actually the only person who's done any damage to him yet, so... Oh, spots out the IS here. It's that IS from earlier, just hid very successfully around the corner until the battle was pretty much over, and then gets himself into the cap circle with his 86 hit points. Unfortunately, he's been spotted here, and this should just be an easy case of picking up kill number 5. And that is the base capture interrupted. So that just leaves the Jagdpanther 2 and himself. He's asking his teammates how much health the Jagdpanther 2 has. But it looks like nobody's really being helpful here. We'll take a look. Right, he's on almost full hit points. So we're going to have to be careful with this one. Not sure if he's been spotted out himself, but he does know that Jagdpanther 2 is there. If he spotted the Jagdpanther, then almost certainly the Jagdpanther has spotted him. And he's going to take a very long route about this one, so we're going to speed this one up until we get back into the action. He's got to go ahead and assume that the Jagdpanther 2 spotted him at the same time as he was spotted himself. So he's going to try and come at this from a different angle. Spots out the Jagdpanther 2 here, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I think he wanted to get all the way around to the number 1 line before he made his attack. But gets eyes on the Jagdpanther 2, and the Jagdpanther 2 almost certainly saw him as well. He's going to come across here, get himself into a side-scraping position and get the rear of the tank poking out so he can just get his turret and gun on target. But it looks like the Jagdpanther 2 has made a move and gotten himself behind that fountain. Doesn't really want to get taken out. Rantador's got plenty of time. He's got 1.5 minutes still on the clock. So he's really just got to decide what he wants to do about this. And as you can see, he tells his teammates that he's getting lag, and that's not a lie there. He's up in the 200s of milliseconds, and it looks like he is getting lag spikes. And the one thing this tank is bad at, and that is circling around slow targets. Because that turret only traverses 85 degrees to each side, it means that you can't really just circle someone at a leisurely pace and just take them out. You've really got to keep in the danger zone to try and keep that gun on target. As you'll probably see as he comes in for the base. So really the Jagdpanther's about he only needs to land 2 shots on Rantador. He has his first shot and misses, unfortunately. But the Jagdpanther starts to run around the fountain. Going to try and get a shot on him, but Rantador comes around behind. Now, the Jagdpanther should have stopped and started reversing rather than continuing to run as it is. Gets alongside him, gets a good shot through the side armor there. And as you can see, with the traverse of this gun, he needs to really stay in the danger zone of this Jagdpanther. The Jagdpanther should have continued to reverse and just used that fountain to sort of scrape the medium tank off him. As it was, he made a terrible mistake, got himself into the open. He's been tracked now, and there's going to be nothing he can do here. This is all she wrote for this Jagdpanther. That is a well-deserved kill, number 6 and 4 and a bit thousand damage for Rantador driving the Object 416. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Stick around because as always the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Whitebox8X, or that might be Whitebox8X, and he's driving the STI or ST1 depending on your preference on a standard battle on Fjords. ST1 being a tier 9 heavy tank for the Russians. So this is the tank that you get just before the IS-4, the one after the KV-4. And just like its predecessor and successor, it is a bit of a armoured beast. This thing is able to soak up and bounce a considerable amount of damage. Not really sure where Whitebox is looking there, so we'll just have the camera to look at something a little bit prettier as we're driving along. Gun on this thing is pretty good as well, fairly accurate over a long distance, tends to be. I don't know if the stats back that up, but that's what experience tells me. So this thing is pretty good from a medium to long range, as well as being up close and personal with the armor and hit points. It can bounce and deflect an inordinate amount of damage. So onto this replay, Whitebox is going to be heading to the very southern tip of the fjord here. Going to face off against the other heavy tanks that normally set up in this area. As we see, we've already seen an IS-3 here, but there's almost certainly someone else. And there we go. Spots out T-29. T-29 rushes his shot and doesn't get any damage. Panther decides to shoot at somebody else, which is probably pretty smart. Whitebox was going to switch over to shooting that IS-3 there, but instead of wasting a shot on the T-29, because the IS-3 is a much higher risk target, but it looks like the IS-3 got into cover just in time. He's able to deflect that shot from that IS-3. Finds a WZ here. That thing's going to be a little bit more tough to crack than the IS-3 is. Doesn't take any damage there, just gets some damage on his tracks. So he's still pretty damn safe. As you can see, the WZ stubbornly sitting there, refusing to go anywhere. And Whitebox just gets a very easy shot through his underbelly there, doing a nice chunk of damage. IS-3's angled himself way too much, and he's presenting a flat front plate to the ST1 here of Whitebox, and he's able to get another chunk of damage onto him. Going to see if he can get something through the underbelly of the WZ again. Indeed he can. He's been hit quite a few times and hasn't taken any damage whatsoever, so doing a good job of just deflecting all the shots here. And really what they've done is they've just, very unlucky not to finally get the kill on that WZ. But what they've done here is just kind of totally overwhelmed the enemy here and pushed them all the way back here. Just needs one more shot on this IS-3. Just the smart thing at least of straightened himself up, but gets taken out nonetheless. Seems like Whitebox is the only person who is aware of what's going on the minimap as well. Obviously the IS-3's and the two ISs not paying any attention whatsoever because they've been absolutely obliterated in the centre there. It's a little bit of a stalemate in the north, but as I've just said, they're getting obliterated in the centre. So White Box is going to drop back and going to see if he can do something about this and try and maybe help out his allies. Spots the AMX 5100, not able to get a shot on him as he drops back behind the rocks. Just going to be speeding this one up every now and then just because this tank is pretty damn slow and driving from point to point can get a little bit tedious with this tank. So White Box deciding not to rush straight to the centre here. He's going to more just head towards his base. Lets his reticule close in on the last known position of that Jagdpanther, and he's able to finally pick up that kill. That's kill number 3 now. So it looks like the Allies have finally been obliterated in the north there, but we can guarantee that because of those ISs, some of the enemy tanks that went north and were in the centre are going to drop back to the base to do something about that. Spots out the Borsig over there. Going to see if we can get a shot on him. Just lets the reticule close all the way and takes his shot. And that is a nice piece of damage onto that Rheinmetall there. And the IS-3 is eventually able to pick him up. Hopefully this IS-3 will drop back to the base here and offer some kind of support. Because there's going to be no way he's going to be able to get to the enemy base in time to try and help out with the capture and defend that one. So really, he should be coming back to the base to help out White Box. But no, it looks like he's obsessed with committing suicide. As we can see, making his way over to the... I don't know what he thinks he's going to be able to do against 3 heavy tanks. But, refusing to pay any heed to the messages of his allies. And just going to head straight into his death. So we can pretty much just write off that IS-3 now. White Box is going to be dueling here with an AMX 1375. Using his turret and body to traverse. Looks like he does have the speed. Gets a good couple of hits on the AMX 1375. Able to take out his tracks, but obviously he's used his repair kit. Going to try and head him off. And there we go. Not quite able to head him off, but he was able to ram him and take him out. The weight of the ST-1 there just overwhelming the 1375 there and finishing him off. Somebody else is obviously in the north there, now firing down on his position. Probably that Ferdinand, as the rest of the heavy tanks went back to the base to do something about the 2 ISs that were capping. Looks like that IS-3 still hasn't gotten himself killed. Not achieved his mission for today. But trust me, he probably is going to die any moment now. There's no way. There we go. Finally gets taken out by the M103. There was no way he was going to be able to do anything and help those ISs out. So now White Box just going to set himself up for the impending attack, which he knows is coming. He's got 3 heavy tanks, a 5100, an M103, and an IS-3 to deal with coming from their base. But he's also got that Ferdinand, which was, there we go. I was going to say Ferdinand almost certainly was up in the north there, coming from the airline down. And as we see, he starts a base capture. How many hit points does he have? He's full health. But that doesn't really matter too much, as the cannon of the ST-1 more than powerful enough to just put it through the flat front plate of the Ferdinand. And then he's able to back off while his gun reloads. The only downside to this ST-1 is the long reload that he has on that cannon. I'm going to try and get another shot on that Ferdinand if he is able. Looks like he's not quite. Not really sure if that Ferdinand's going to be able to get any penetrating hits on the ST-1 from this distance. Looks like no. IS-3 sneaks around the side there. But White Box doing a great job of just side-scraping that damage away. And then having his shot and taking out the IS-3. M103 knows the lengthy reload of this ST-1, just to be able to get himself around the corner and take him out. The problem is now, though, that he's reloaded, and it looks like, can't quite see the health of those other tanks. Yep, they're both one shot from death. So it's only the Ferdinand that's got any health, really. What the Ferdinand should be doing now is, well, what he should have started doing when he first took damage is come down here to help his allies. He should have came around the corner because he was 3 shots from death and just kind of blocked in the ST-1 here. Oh, just able to get his reload done in time to take out that M103, but now he's going to be a sitting duck for this AMX 5100, so just decides to manhandle him down the cliff there. Absolutely excellent piece of play. He was just basically just said, fuck you 5100, pushed him down the cliff, then comes around the corner and gets another shot on that Ferdinand there. We'll see the AMX 5100 fall a little bit further down that cliff. There's nothing this Ferdinand can do now. He can't kill him in one shot. Gets a good penetrating hit there, but this is going to be all she wrote, and that is kill number 7. And then we can see that AMX 5100 sitting in his shame in the lake there. There's nothing he's going to be able to do. What really should have happened there in that duel is the Ferdinand should have come round the corner, because as we saw, it took 4 shots from White Box to take him out. So he should have came around the corner to soak up the damage, while the other 3 tanks could have just laid shot after shot into the ST1. But as it was, they decided to all come round one at a time and get killed. So what White Box is doing here now is he's just driving off until he fades back into the fog of war and just make the 5100 think that he's going to maybe just go capture the base. And then he sneaks around this corner here, gets into a side scraping position just in case, spots out the 5100, he's not looking, and that is a easy kill there after the little push down the cliff. An absolutely brilliant game there from White Box 8X. So absolutely excellent stuff, picking up 5,500 points of damage and a monster 8 kills. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a good replay, please send that to replay@screenreality.com. Just attach the replay file to the email or send me the link to the What Replay website. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like or favourite, stick a comment in the comment section below letting me know exactly what you thought, and if you're not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.